Alright, what is going on guys? It's Tazz here and welcome back to the channel. The Call of Duty Black Ops 6 beta is officially here, which marks the beginning of everyone's favorite time of year, that being COD season, complete with epic highs and lows. This year, Treyarch is back with another entry in the Black Ops series, carrying over tons of elements from Cold War and spicing things up a bit with a few new bells and whistles. I've been lucky enough to have a chance to play during the pre-order early access for Weekend 1 over on PC through Battle.net for the past couple of days. And right off the bat, first impressions are that when the game actually works, I'm having an absolute blast. As you would come to expect, performance, especially for Call of Duty and especially on PC, especially during a beta, was not the greatest. I experienced tons of crashes, matches not loading, and even Nvidia Shadowplay glitching out while I was trying to record gameplay. However, I'll give Treyarch the benefit of the doubt given the fact that it is a beta and performance issues are expected. I've loved what I've played of Black Ops 6 so far. I was a big fan of Cold War, and this basically being Cold War 2.0 but with Omni movement is an absolute win for me. Omni movement is the big new thing, the draw for BO6's multiplayer, the feature that sets it apart from the past few COD releases. While it does take some time to get used to and even longer to master, once you get the hang of it, man is the movement fun and fluid. It does create quite the skill gap between those who know and those who don't know how to use the new movement system, however, so definitely hone those skills as quickly as you can. I've been playing on mouse and keyboard and it felt great, although I've seen tons of players saying that it feels more like the game was designed for the controller player in mind. This game is high-octane, action-packed, and fast-paced, thanks mostly to the new movement system. The time to kill is fairly quick most of the time, but can be somewhat inconsistent based off of connection. Overall, I am a fan of it. It feels like every weapon is lethal and punchy, with its own use case from the small pool we've been given access to. So far, I am really getting that classic COD feel with Treyarch's signature flair, as that is the biggest compliment I can give to the game at the moment. Something pretty different in the BO6 beta is that you can actually have access to all of your Vault Edition content, both Mastercraft weapons and operator skins. It's a small but nice touch, giving us a chance to become familiar and try out some of our hard-earned, paid-for bonus content. The weapon skins and inspecs are incredible, as well as I've been loving the Brutus operator skin, not only appearance-wise, but he's got some great voice lines in-game too. Speaking of weapon inspecs, small little nitpick, but we do need a custom keybind option for the inspect without having to pull up the emote wheel. Please and thank you, Treyarch. Closing out some more of the positives, the small to medium-sized 3-lane maps are great and look visually pretty nice, and the streaks and equipment from what I've used and seen so far seem pretty lethal as well. I also can't go without mentioning the lobby music, another certified banger from Treyarch this year, along with the Zombies theme update that was revealed at COD Next. Create a Class got a bit of an overhaul and feels more like a classic COD system. Coolest feature is that the knife is now in its own slot. Now, back to the topic of the not-so-great, the crashes. Man, I had a string of about 5 or so matches in a row where my game hard crashed, and then it continued to crash at various points throughout the weekend, less frequently, but still at the most suboptimal times. From what I experienced, it usually happened in the middle of a gunfight as well, but sometimes it would just be random at the beginning of a match or before a match even started. After each crash, you have to go back to the Call of Duty HQ, launch a BO6 from there, wait for Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone to close, load back into BO6, and hope that you would actually be put into a match and not crash out again before even getting to play. The biggest fix, or I guess workaround I've found so far, is starting the game in safe mode, which does force you to redo your graphics settings unfortunately, but from my experience they haven't been very helpful in getting extra performance anyway, so I've just been keeping everything at low or very low. Worst comes to worst with the crashes, you have to restart your whole PC, like when I was getting the shadow play not recording bug. I'm sure it will all be fixed with a driver update at launch, but still quite the annoying bug. Actually recording gameplay for this video was maybe the toughest thing, and unfortunately I lost a lot of good gameplay footage due to the instability. Next up here, this isn't necessarily a BO6 negative, but a whole COD negative, and that is the Call of Duty HQ. I like the concept, but in practice, it means everything runs on the same engine and through the same launcher, and has somewhat similar menus and mechanics, and it takes away from the identity and ambiance that we've had in previous years. Speaking of identity, Treyarch games are usually known as the brighter, more vibrant, and almost arcadey styled of the Call of Duty games, as opposed to the ultra-realistic look that Modern Warfare goes for. I'm typically a huge fan of the look of Treyarch's games, however, I think BO6 does, to an extent, still fall victim to a lot of the flat and washed out color palettes of the past couple of COD releases. Of course, I've color corrected the footage for this video, but the biggest workaround I have found in-game is using Color Filter 2 and cranking that bad boy up to 100% in the user interface settings. Performance and connection on PC has been a bit hit or miss for me. When the ping is on point and the game is running smoothly, it's great, but half the time the ping is through the roof, getting packet bursts and dropping tons of frames. On Friday, they did push a new playlist update that does seem to have fixed a lot of the server stability, recording, and crashing issues. Not everything is running perfectly all the time, but it's certainly better than it was on launch. Again, it is a beta, but these are issues that plague COD on PC year after year, and it's not just my 10-year-old PC that is causing these issues. While obviously there are some negatives and some constructive criticisms I've presented here, that's the whole point of a beta. Squash out some bugs, have some fun, and help the developers release a more complete product at launch. Speaking of a complete product, I've heard this thrown around, and I think it is safe to say that BO6 from the beta and everything that we've heard from the developers leading up to it at COD Next and beyond, this is going to be the most complete Call of Duty product we will be receiving at launch in quite some time. 16 maps at launch, a complete gunsmith system, mastery camos for multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone, revamped Create a Class, classic prestige mode with over 1,000 levels of prestige master, omni movement, and new features like the hostage system, and the list goes on. It's no secret that I, along with the entire COD community, were a little disappointed in the fact that after Cold War, we got Vanguard followed by Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, which are literally the same game, and have had nothing really groundbreaking in terms of COD, or zombies for that matter, for the last 4 years. But now Treyarch is back and better than ever, ready to deliver another epic campaign, the deepest zombies experience to date, a streamlined multiplayer and Warzone experience, and I couldn't be any more excited. I've already hit the level cap of 20 during weekend 1 to get all of my rewards, and I'll continue to play as much as I can through weekend 2, getting up to level 30 to round out the beta and reward system. But with that said, guys, I want to know your thoughts on all of this down there in the comments below. Have you played the BO6 beta yet? And if so, what do you think so far? What game mode, campaign, multiplayer, or zombies will you be jumping into first on launch day? And what are you looking forward to most within Black Ops 6? Just let me know all of that down there in the comments below. But until next time, guys, it's been Tazz, and I will see you guys in the next video.